What is up, YouTube? This is Merman Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel with the one, the only,
Dark Magic Ian.
That is right, guys. He is back. You know, we lost some of the deck profiles that we recorded on the channel, and dang, now we're back. My phone has been fixed, guys, and we have long awaited for Dark Magic Ian to get back on this channel and get these profiles in, guys. So, Dark Magic Ian, what do we have today being profiled?
Elementsabers.
Elementsabers, something new, something a lot of players are not looking at. But if you guys know Dark Magic Ian, you know that he can deliver the spice and
make it work.
Make it work. So, anything else you want to say before we get into this?
No, let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
All right, so start off with the monsters. We run 3 copies of Elementsaber La Puila Mana. This is the best Elementsaber. Basically, he gains effects, or gains immunity, based off of what you send off the grave. Send off to the grave if you have the field spell out of your hand. So usually, what I send with his effect, I send a wind and a fire, which makes him immune to battle and card effects. And if it sort of depends on the matchup. Like if I'm going against Light Swords, I send a water, a fire, and an earth or a dark to prevent him from being targeted.
So it's basically just a way to you can basically boost up his power based on your matchup.
You boost up his power based on your matchup. Like if you want to go on against Light Swords, you send a dark to make him immune to snow and other popping, and the fire to make him immune to other popping effects.
Yeah.
And then every other matchup, basically you send a wind and a fire. Basically, mainly against decks that have really powerful effects to target is only the only time you send a dark. So that's why he's in here. He also becomes a very, very big boy under the field spell.
Oh yes,
making him a force to be reckoned with.
Guys, I personally played this deck with my elemental heroes, and I was toasted. I was toasted like a bagel.
All right, that's La Puila Mana. Next up is the little version of La Puila Mana. 3 copies of Elementsaber La Puila.
Okay.
This one is really much more simple effect than La Puila Mana. Basically, what he does is he's your spell and trap negator by sending an Elementsaber from your hand to the grave. Of course, under the field spell, you can send it from the deck instead. So he negates spell traps. Up next is Elementsaber Aina. This monster is the monster reborn of the deck. Basically, you pitch an Elementsaber monster from your hand, or if you have the field spell, like I said, from your deck, to special summon a Elementsaber or a properly summoned Elemental Lord from your graveyard to your field, and ignoring the summoning condition. So if you have a Moulin that you previously summoned earlier in the game that left the field, you can use Aina's effect to bring her back, or to bring Moulin Glacia back, and you can rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand again.
Damn.
Or you can summon Windrose and wipe their back row, or any Elemental Lords that you summoned previously you can bring back with her. Very, very good card. Up next is Elementsaber Makani.
Okay.
This is pretty much self-explanatory. This is the Stratos of the deck. Basically, you pitch an Elementsaber monster to add an Elementsaber and Elemental Lord monster from your deck to your hand. And they all have a really cool effect where you can manipulate their attributes in the graveyard, which I'll get into why that's relevant later because I'm running some pretty spicy techs.
All right.
Next up is 3 Elementsaber Malehu. This guy is he's the Book of Moon of the deck. Basically, during either player's turn, you can pitch an Elementsaber monster to put a monster on your opponent's side of the field face down, and he also becomes really big under the field spell.
Yeah, you got a bunch of free Elementsaber stuff for your deck at A&O.
I did. Next up is 2 Elementsaber Mallow. I'm running him. Most people run him at 1. I run him at 2 because he can set up your graveyard for your Elemental Lord. So you summon him, and you basically pitch 2 Elementsabers to the grave. Which means you can get fuel for your other cards. So he's a pretty good card. This is another card that's a little different. I'm running the 1 Nalu.
Okay.
She's like the recycler. Basically, you pitch an Elementsaber to add an Elementsaber, or I think it's Elementsaber or Elemental Lord. Let me check. Yeah, it's Elementsaber or Elemental Lord from your graveyard back to your hand. So it's a good contingency plan for late game if you're out of resources. And then that's all the Elementsabers. Now for the Elemental Lords. 1 Moulin Glacia.
Yep.
1 Phosphorage. And 1 Windrose. These are all searchable. This is a Delinquent Duo when he's specialed. This is a Raigeki when he's special. This is a Harpy's Featherduster when he's specialed.
This is actually even better than Delinquent Duo because this does 2 random cards.
And Delinquent, yeah. It's a Delinquent Duo. It's a better Delinquent Duo on legs. So they all have the same summoning clause. You have to have exactly 5 of the same attribute in the graveyard to summon them, which is where the Elementsaber's graveyard effects come into play. So, like, this requires exactly 5 winds, this requires exactly 5 lights, and this requires exactly 5 waters. So, whichever elemental lord you want, depending on the situation, you can either get any one of these 3, and then manipulate 5 Elementsabers in your graveyard to make them the attribute to summon these boys.
So not a lot of people run Windrose. Why do you like it so much?
I just like it to stop like back row, pops diagrams, heritages, stuff like that. And if you have like a Lapuila mana on the board, you don't care if you pop a True Draco trap card because it prevents them from being targeted or destroyed by card effects.
Makes sense.
So those are the Elemental Lords. This is where these are all the text. Here's some text I'm running. I'm running 2 copies of Destrudo.
2? Why 2?
Yeah, I want to see more. Like you want to have like I'll also play Desires in the deck, so if you banish your only Destrudo, you have 2 dead cards in your deck.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm playing 2 Destrudos in case I banish one off of Desires. And this basically lets me summon an Ancient Fairy Dragon, and I can pop the Dragon Ravine that he's out with, and summon an Ancient Fairy Dragon and get my Palace. And keep my plays going from there. Next up is 1 Dark Arm Dragon.
Okay, not a lot of Elemental Saber players are running at all.
Basically, like I said, you can manipulate attributes in the graveyard. So you can make exactly 3 in the graveyard, and then summon him, and then make the rest of them in the grave dark, and he basically has unlimited ammo.
Man, I'm starting to get some crazy ideas about Elemental Saber Dark Creator decks or some crazy stuff.
And then under the field spell, he becomes really big as well. 2,800 body.
Nice.
And the last monster I run, this is definitely a card I have not seen in any Elemental Saber decks, and that is 1 copy of BLS.
Dang.
This deck has plenty of lights and plenty of darks. And plus, if you have this and Lapuila in your opening hand, or the big one, in the field spell, or a way to get to the field spell, you can summon the Lapuila mana, send 2 Elementsabers from your deck to the grave to summon it, and then you can make their attributes light and dark and then summon him. Plus, he's searchable off of Isolde, which is really, really good.
That is broken.
That's all the monsters. I believe it's 25. I'm not entirely sure. Next up, for spells, I'm running 3 Palace of the Elemental Lords. This is the heart and soul of the deck. Basically, what it does is it makes all monsters on your side of the field gain 200 attack for each attribute in the graveyard. And it has another effect where it has 2 other effects. Once per turn, you can add an Elementsaber monster from your deck to your hand at the cost of your next battle phase. So, like, this is somewhat of a going second deck. Like, I like this card better going second than I do going first because I do all my shenanigans. I activate the Palace going second, and then I can search my Elementsaber, and then I won't have to worry about not battling.
Oh, makes sense. And you can actually stack this with the fact that the battle.
Yeah, you can. You can search multiple. If you have like multiple of these in your hand, you can search 2 Elementsabers, and you only skip 1 battle phase.
And not only that, but like I think the Lords also make you skip battle phases as well. So like combining that together.
This is a kind of a decent going second deck, in my opinion.
Makes sense.
Also, it has a third effect where you can, for the cost of an Elementsaber monster effect, so like for any of your Elementsabers that you have that require pitching from your hand, you can send them from the deck instead, which means you get to keep your hand advantage.
That's broken.
This is a very, very incredible card.
That's the card you want to pop there, guys.
An extremely underrated Ultra in this set, in my opinion. Next up is the 2 Dragon Ravines. Self-explanatory for the Destrudos.
Yeah. Have you considered Dark Worm in the deck?
I have, but 1, I don't have a Dark Worm, and 2, I want to keep this deck as casual as possible. This is more of a fun, casual deck that I decided to build with a little bit of a competitive mindset.
Nice.
So I can it's mainly for like dueling against friends and stuff. And like if I ever decide to go up against one of my friends who's competitive, I can put up a fight against them.
Sounds good.
And then 3 terraforming, duh. They're not my ultis. I traded my ultis a while back.
Are they?
But they are PGD originals.
Oh, did it really come in PGD? I thought it came in like IOC or like.
It came in
SOG.
PGD.
Dang. Wow, this card is old.
It is. And then 2 Pod Desires. I heard drawing 2 cards is pretty good.
Secret rare.
Yeah, man. And then the last spells I run in the deck are 1 copy of Rhoda.
Yep.
Because your entire deck is basically level 4 warriors. Except for Lapuila mana, which you just search off the field spell anyway. And Raigeki, because this is going second deck, board wipes are good.
Yeah.
Those are all the spells. I'm only running 3 traps.
So have you thought about running Soul Charge in there? Because like...
No. I have, but I decided I don't want to run it because room issues.
I see.
Mainly because this card is so good.
Oh, yes. This is like the be-all, end-all help card. And
this card is incredible.
So for viewers who don't know what this does, what does this do?
Basically, what it does is it prevents your Palace of the Elemental Lord from being targeted or destroyed by card effects. So the only way they can get rid of it is through like a mass removal that banishes or shuffles. It's immune to Cosmic Cyclone. It's immune to Twin Twisters. It's immune to MST. If Harpy's Feather Duster was legal, it'd be immune to Harpy's Feather Duster and Heavy Storm as well. They'd have to get rid of this first.
Wow. That's really quite busted.
And it has another effect. The second effect is what I like the best about this card. Basically, what it does is you tribute a monster to special summon an Elementsaber monster from your deck with a different attribute. I used to play Layer of Darkness in the deck, but I felt it was kind of a brick. And like I said, casual.
Yeah.
But there's a really crazy thing you can do with Layer of Darkness with this card is you can tribute your opponent's monsters to summon Elementsabers out of your deck.
Can you really?
Yeah, because Layer of Darkness reads that if you
Oh yeah, Layer of Darkness.
if you were to tribute a monster, if you were to activate a card effect that required you to tribute a monster, you can tribute your opponent's dark monsters instead.
Yeah.
And Layer of Darkness makes all your opponent's monsters dark. So that's the elemental training. That's the main deck.
All right, extra deck.
Extra deck. So for my Destrudo cards, I have Ancient Fairy Dragon. This helps you get to your field spell.
Yep.
Black Rose for nuking boards.
Yep.
And then Clear Wing for if you want to push for game. Those are the synchros. Now for the Xyz, we got Baguska, self-explanatory.
Yep.
Locks your opponent out for a couple of turns. Dweller against those True Draco decks.
Yeah, of course.
Tornado Dragon against the Pendulum Magicians. Castell is just a universal out to everything.
Yep.
Ulti Castell.
Let's get a close-up on that. Both the Castell and that Tornado Dragon are super hot fire. And he's got an original Abyss Rising.
I do.
Is this Europe? I thought it looked.
I think it is Europrint. I'm not positive, though.
It might be. I'm going to have to take a closer look at this, guys, but it is the shiniest Tornado Dragon I've seen stateside in quite some time.
Indeed. This is a really good ulti. And then I have the Utopia package for outing big monsters.
High
DT
rarity.
Utopia as well.
DT Utopia, highest rarity.
Those are the rank 4 XCs. And then I'm running one rank 6. I'm running Constellar at Ptolemy M7.
Oh, with 2 manas, right?
Yeah, in case you have 2 Lapuila manas on the board and you need to make room on your board for other stuff, you can go into this and then bounce something next turn. Plus, he's a 2700 body, which under the field spell makes him way bigger.
Nice.
And then I'm running Lynx. You're going to think this is blasphemy, guys, but Dark Magic Ian is running Isolde and something other than Noble Knights.
What?
Yeah.
Can it be?
Like I said, this is a good Noble Knight card, but it's also generic warrior support, and all the Elementsabers are warriors. So you can use this to basically link away 2 guys, and you can search out a BLS or another Elementsaber for next turn.
Dang. The fact that this can search BLS, I think, is like the craziest. Like,
it is so stupid.
Any warrior from your deck to your hand. You might not be able to use it that turn, but
this literally searches the whole deck, except for the Elemental Lords.
Yeah.
And the Dark Arms, and all the Dragon support cards.
Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts.
So that's the I sold. And then I'm running 2 Link 3s. I'm running Decode Talker. Decode Talker, pretty good card, self-explanatory. Yep. And then I'm running Topologic Trisbana.
Ooh, a brand new card, guys, from the set. If you take a look at the playmat, he's the one on there right now. He's the cover card of the set. Explain to us what he does.
Basically, if you special summon if a monster is special summoned to a zone that he points to, you can banish that and as many spell and trap cards on the field as possible. Then you inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each card that your opponent banished. And he's a 2500 body, which is really good. So like you can make this against like Paleos or something, you can elemental training into a zone on the Topologic Trisbana's pointing to, and then banish everything, and they take like 2,500 points of damage.
Jesus. I don't even know why people would run Decode Talker anymore with this thing out.
This is just more accessible, because this requires...
I think that's 2, and then this is...
They're both 2 of us spec monsters. This one's better because like, it can stop targeting.
Yeah.
And it can get bigger.
Oh, yeah.
This is just for like niche situations that you need to get rid of back row.
Gotcha.
And the last one I run is Borreload, self-explanatory. It's Borreload. Best link 4 in the game.
Yeah.
That's the extra deck. I don't have a side deck.
Well, I mean, this is a casual deck, though, so... anything you want to say? Any shout-outs?
Shout-outs to the Quincy crew and Alpha Omega Hobby. You guys are awesome. Thank you for hooking me up with the 3rd elemental training. Oh. Shout out to the Mermail Master for hooking me up with the Moulin Glacia.
That's right. When this thing shot to $50, I honored my deal to Dark Magic Ian. And he got it for 25.
I feel really bad about that.
Dude, don't even.
I'll figure out a way to pay you back somehow.
No, man. Friends do what friends can to help other friends out, man.
Bros before hoes, my dude. Hopefully that won't demonetize you. You can beat that out if you want.
If I was that good at editing, I certainly would do that. But guys, thanks so much for watching the video. If you did, please remember to pop a thumbs up there for Dark Magic Ian coming back to the channel after a long hiatus. Hopefully we're going to have some more deck profiles coming soon. We got one more from Dark Magic Ian and hopefully some more from Earl.
The man, the myth, the legend, the judge at the Batters Up crew.
That's right, guys.
Mystic X himself.
That is right.
Check out his channel. He has a gaming channel.
That is right, guys. We always link it in the description. His fans always come out of the woodwork. You guys got to. Oh,
I can't wait! I can't wait to Mermail Master. I can't wait to see his Goki deck on your channel again. That's gonna be so spicy.
Nuts! All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching once again. This is the Mermail Master and
Dark Magic Ian,
and we're signing out. Catch you guys next time.